Man, all right. Welcome back to Talk About Strange. How are you doing out there? We've been having a lot of cold weather all over the place. There's been a lot of comments. I hope you guys are staying safe and warm out there. It's pretty cold here, and we're staying warm. A little nippy in here in the shop, but we're getting along. But I know some of the areas out there are a lot worse than we have here right now. We had a nice sunshiny day. It was cold, but it was sunshiny, so it was a beautiful day. I got a great story in here. People are still writing them in. I got caught up on the last one there, pretty good, but they just keep coming in, and I love it. Just keep them coming in. I don't have a lot of updates today. I want to go over the online store there. I did do a early membership 10% off. I'm doing like an increase because the membership level 1, level 2, you get 5% off on your purchases, and level 3 it's 10% off. So, and that just remains that way. But I'm doing it for early members. I'm throwing out an additional 10%, well, not an additional, another 10% off, or 10% off one-time use. So you can use that at the store to make your main purchases and stuff, and we'll go from there. Then there'll be a lot of other benefits to come. So I've had a few people ask me, how do you become a member? And so I've been explaining to them, if you go to the home page, there's a preview video that comes up on the bottom. So there's my page, my logo, then there's like a preview window. Just above that, above the videos or whatever you see on yours, there's an area that says home, videos, I think it might say shorts on there, community. Anyway, if you slide it over, it'll say membership or members. So you click on that, and I believe that's where you go to sign up for the membership. It might be different on my end because it's my channel. So, but if there's anything on there, any questions or anything on that, please let me know. If you guys have done it, well, I know some of you have done it, quite a few of you, and you know how to do it. Don't be afraid to jump on there if somebody asks, and let them know, because it might be different on my end, what I'm seeing. All right. Okay, so let's get this phenomenal story. You guys aren't going to want to miss out on this. This is going to be a really good story. You're going to really enjoy this. How many of you guys are into sports? Because this is a whole new level of sports, right? Bigfoot versus NFL player. Game over. You ready for this? My name is Sam. I love your channel. I have been watching all of your videos. I can't believe how many people are coming forward with these incredible stories, especially Wendy, Claire, Amaruk, and Jane. I just want to hug all of you. You are so brave. I wish I could say the same, but unfortunately I was kind of a coward, I guess. I really hope that we get to hear more about your lives and Amaruk's son. Me too. We're all hoping for that. There's more to come, I'm sure. I'll move on so as not to make this too long. I tend to ramble on, especially when about this. I have to remain anonymous. You will understand why soon. My boyfriend grew up on a farm. He was a pro football player and did some closed circuit MMA back in the day. He is 6'5" of no nonsense, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it sounds like it. I've seen him get in scuffles and toss 2-3 guys around like toys. He is very jealous and a bit overprotective. He is a punch first, ask questions later kind of guy. But please don't take that wrong, as he is also a big, sweet teddy bear when it comes to me, or of course his mom. We all are. So he is a big Bigfoot fan. His apartment always has some kind of Bigfoot, I want to say crap, laugh out loud, but this might be the wrong place to say it. So I'll just say stuff. All he talked about for a long time was how cool it would be to go out and see an actual Bigfoot. Well, one day, to my regret, I said, why don't we just go do it so you can get it out of your system? I like camping, at least I used to. Most of you probably heard of the Bigfoot Trail, I'm sure. There are a lot of places we wanted to go along the trail, but we had to plan different times and locations because it is over 300 miles long. It's a long hike. The first few times we invited some friends to tag along, but after a while they got bored of it or too busy. I personally loved it. It's great exercise, and the fresh air does wonders for stress relief normally. It was our 8th time out. We made it to the Marble Mountains in North California. The Marble Mountains in North California. Same as usual, we got an early start and hiked in a good distance, 10, maybe 12 miles. That night we ventured out and around the camp. He brought night vision binoculars, one of those FLIR cameras that showed you the hot and cold spots, and a club to whack the trees with, like they do on TV. I thought he was crazy, but it was fun at the time, I guess. The next day we decided to hike another 10 miles or so. I didn't think that was a good idea, but he talked me into it fairly easily with some promises. TMI. Oh boy. Isn't that normally the other way around? Who is this guy? I figured we probably hiked maybe 8 miles the next day because we found an absolute beautiful spot on the mountain with a breathtaking view. We set up camp and began scoping things out around the area a while. Night came and we set out to find his Bigfoot again. We walked around the woods and used his FLIR thing, but didn't see anything other than small animals and some birds. He did some funny calls that he seen on TV and used his club to whack the trees. Then we would wait a while and do it again. It was getting late, or so early, I should say early in the morning, and he had some promises to fill. So we headed back to the camp. I stopped by a tree and told him to go ahead so I could use the outdoor facilities, so to speak. I was only 20 feet from the tent and could see him opening the tent and was getting things ready as he climbed in. As he climbed in, I realized I didn't have anything to wipe with. I was like, honey, how about bringing me some TP? He laughed and said, hang on, let me find something. I was waiting and looking around. That's when I seen it. At first I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. I was trying to focus in on it to see if it would move because it was hiding behind the trees. My boyfriend hollers out, oh my God, that's awful, babe. Why'd you do that so close to the tent? I looked over toward the tent and asked him, what are you talking about? He laughed and said, yeah, right. I can smell it. I can smell it from here. Oh boy. At the time he was crawling out of the tent, I was looking back at those trees and didn't see it. But that was the thing. The spot I had seen was empty. So something had moved. I said, hurry up. I don't think we're alone. He stopped laughing and asked if I was serious. I already pulled my pants up. At that point, I didn't care if I got my underpants wet. Yeah, I would have already wet mine. We were both standing still and listening when the odor hit me. I was like, oh my God, is that what you're talking about? He said, yes, and started to laugh at me. All of a sudden, he got a straight face and stared right through me. I knew something was wrong and asked him, what is it? And he said, babe, when I tell you to run, you run for the tent and don't look back. I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand straight up. I had that awful feeling that something was about to grab me. Then I heard it breathe out a low rumble sound. Oh my God. I would have died. My boyfriend said run, and I darted for him, but he ran straight past me. He told me not to look back, but I had to. This giant creature came out of the dark heading our way. It was looking straight at me when my boyfriend full on tackled it. He drove it back about 4 to 5 feet and didn't even bat an eye. It didn't even bat an eye. All at once, it let out this weird, almost girlish scream. My boyfriend stepped back and waited to see what it was going to do because it lasted a long time. When it stopped, it looked at my man and lunged at him a little like challenge of sort. That triggered my boyfriend to start swinging. I watched him hit this thing over and over. I mean, he unloaded. Any normal guy would have dropped like a wet rag. And then it took one swipe of its huge arm and sent my boyfriend rolling across the ground towards me like he was the toy. Oh boy. Then it turned its attention back to me. I started crying and ran to my boyfriend. It walked over and grabbed my arm and started to drag me away. My boyfriend ran on his hands and knees to the tent and grabbed his backpack and pulled out the bear spray and his club. Then came back after us. He hit it in the back of the head so hard it broke the club and it dropped me. Then it turned to him. I knew at this point it was pissed and had every intention of killing my boyfriend. But he started spraying it in the face with the bear spray. It didn't like that at all, but I'm not sure now, if that's what stopped it. I know how this is going to sound, but I started praying it would leave us alone, and that's when it seemed to just leave. I read most of the comments from your stories, and a lot of them said the only way to stop a Bigfoot attack is to pray. I don't know for certain, but it kind of makes sense now. That's why I wrote this, because if that is the truth, then everyone needs to know. Otherwise, I know we would have been dead for sure. We grabbed our stuff and headed back home. We didn't stop once until we reached his car. As much as he wanted to, he never told a soul about what happened out there, out of fear of losing his career and figured no one would believe us anyway. My boyfriend's an even bigger Bigfoot fan now. He has no interest in looking for him anymore because he doesn't want to risk a round 2 scenario. Yeah, blame him. As far as he's concerned, he won that round, but I think we both know better. My advice to you, if you go looking for Bigfoot, be careful because you might just find him. Best wishes, Sam. Well, whew. So there you go. Oh my God, Sam, thank you for sending that in. That's awesome. Amazing. And thank goodness you guys got out of there. I mean, you had a long hike out of there. And I don't know if you know this or not. If there's one, there's usually a lot more than one. So I wonder what that was about. I mean, from the other stories we've gotten in, I have a pretty good feeling what that was about, but that could have ended really badly. I wonder, you got to wonder, did the bear spray help? Did it do anything? I've heard people say that doesn't do a thing for them. It don't bother them at all, but I don't know. Thank you for sending that in to us, though. That's really wild. I'd really love to know who he was or is, your boyfriend. But I completely understand, where he's coming from. That's not something I probably want to talk about either. I'm really glad you guys made it through that. And thank you again for sending that in. I don't have any other updates right now. I just wanted to put that on here. I got some other stories I'm going to be getting to. I've got a lot going on this week, but I'm going to do the best I can, as you already know. Get on there and see if you can get that membership. If you would, please, I'd really appreciate it. And get your 10%. Just shoot me an email, and I'll send you that 10% discount so you can load up on some stuff. And we do have more stuff coming on, so keep an eye open for that. And let's just keep on going. We're doing really good so far, so let's keep right on going, all right? Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again really soon. Take care now and stay warm.